Alright, here we go. This is the big one. After being put on delay for such an immense amount of time, we have finally arrived at our final destination of Serious Sam, the second encounter. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grand Cathedral. And we are not going to waste any time, so first things off, if you pick up this ammo pack and then use the rockets to blow up this color patch of the wall, it reveals a secret. And we're going to quickly need this secret for a moment because we've got a bunch of enemies that we need to fight, and that wall closes once you pick up the power-ups. We also got a serious bomb right here. You might want to consider picking that up. So maybe it's party time, and we're not gonna waste any of that party time doing useless crap. We're going to shoot all of these dudes with our Tommy gun now that we have this extra, like, double damage, triple damage. I'm not really sure how much your damage is multiplied when you have the serious damage power-up equipped, but let's just say it's quite a lot from what you've probably seen so far. And, of course, it's not really lasting as long as it would in, like, Serious Sam 2, but that's not the game we're playing. But I'm gonna quickly make use of that to take care of those harpies that just appeared. And the Zorgs. The Zorgs have a bit of an odd pathfinding gimmick right here at the beginning of the level. As you can see, they kind of like to get behind you and just do their own little thing. They sort of want to shoot you in the back, and we want to prevent that. It's been a while since I've played this level, to be honest. I'm not exactly a big fan of the Grand Cathedral, but I will say I do like it more than, say, the Great Pyramid, just because, well, for one thing, it's much bigger on scale. This level is fairly long. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I should probably turn my focus on defeating more of these Zorgs, because if I lose focus, then I'm probably going to lose a lot more health than I originally intended to. Pistol! Pistol! I can use my pistols, and you... I'm gonna use the knife on you, because I don't use that weapon nearly enough. And this music track that we're listening to right now, I guess I should say, is pretty much the one that's going to be playing the entire time. Now, I don't exactly remember where all the secrets are in this level, but... You said that before, Sam. But I will try to get as many as I possibly can, and sometimes the enemies like to get stuck behind this wall right here. Not really sure why that happens, but you can always easily dispatch of them due to their extreme embarrassment. And there's also a bunch of dudes out here. As soon as you fire at that Zumb'ul creature, then the other guys will be alerted of your presence, and they will likely attempt to attack you. And I'm not really sure if that armor counts as a secret right there. Like I said, it's been a while since I played this level, so I might forget where certain secrets are. And I do apologize for that, because I prefer to get all the secrets. And Sam has a lot of things to say today. I also forgot about that too. And Trix has a message for us. Well, at least we know why they call it the Corridor of Death. Obviously, Mental came before us. It has probably found the Grail and left one of its most dangerous vassals to guard it, since the Holy Grail can't be taken by anyone whose soul is not in God's mercy. Mental and its minions were automatically disqualified. My sensors still can't detect the presence of the Holy Grail. Seems like it's cloaked or something. A cloaking device, you say? What are we playing? Team Fortress 2? Right, so we've wasted all of our bullets, but we still have sniper rifle bullets, so there is that. I'm probably going to use that against these clears to the best of my abilities until I run out, in which case, yeah, there might be a slight problem with that. But, oh well. The clear skeletons, I don't know, it seems like part of a waste to use these kind of weapons against clear skeletons, but then again, it's still really effective. And since the sniper rifle kind of has a fast firing rate, then it works pretty well in medium-sized numbers. Now I'm switching to the laser gun because I think it's a good idea. Also because we're going to be getting a lot of ammunition packs in this level. And ammunition packs, as you might know, refill all of your ammo. And it's very good because you can just constantly keep using the minigun. And I'm almost getting shot by these guys, but thankfully I've been avoiding them rather cleverly. So I'm going to get trapped by a wall, apparently, and keep on using my laser gun until I run out of ammo, in which case I'll probably switch over to the grenade launcher, so I'm just kind of keeping my finger on the key so that way I can switch over to the nades. The potato launcher! And until, of course, this guy gets too close, in which case I might have a slight problem here. I don't know, I think the clear skeletons might also have a bit of odd pathfinding here as well, depending on where you're standing. Although, yeah, you see that guy, he just kind of turned on a dime for a second and then changed his mind. He's like, oh yeah, Sam is right in front of me. Maybe I should switch back to what I was doing, and it's a little bit odd dealing with that. But as you can see, we're getting pushed back quite far, and I don't think this has ever happened to me before. But then again, I haven't really reached this level in hard mode, so I guess the experience has never been mine before, I guess you could say. I don't remember there being this many clear skeletons here, to be honest. Flamethrower! I have a flamethrower. I'm just gonna hold down mouse 1 like I would if I were playing Team Fortress, because that game is really, really similar to this game, as you can tell, because both of them have a flamethrower. And you're dead already, so I don't need to worry about that. And of course, in case you lose armor or health, there's always gonna be a bunch of pickups hiding in these little corridors right here. Could also be a couple of biomechs on this side. I'm not really sure if the clear skeletons tend to get stuck. Ow, I really want to avoid that. I'm not sure if they get stuck behind walls like the Zorgs did at the beginning of the level, but it could happen. I'm really, really thinking it happens sometimes. They like to get stuck just behind that wall, so I'm gonna keep a sharp eye out just to be safe. There's nothing behind here, and there's an ammo pack right there, so I can probably go pick that up. So yeah, Grand Cathedral. What else can you really say about that? It has a crap ton of enemies. I think it's somewhere over the 1000s, if I recall correctly. And yeah, if you do the math, that's a lot of enemies. Also Nars. They throw Nars at you here for no apparent reason. It's just, yeah, this game has Nars, but it gives me an excuse to use the chainsaw, so there is that. Because I like the chainsaw. I like the knife more than the chainsaw, but hey, you gotta give the chainsaw a chance. Just take care of these dudes, and these guys, they have a tendency to fire at each other a lot. But since we also have those miniature biomechs out in the distance, I can probably take them out with rockets because they have a tendency to stand still on the occasion. Don't ask me why they do that. Some enemies like to keep tracking you constantly, and other times the enemies just like to stand still and do really dumb things with their lives. Now, what you can expect from this level are a couple of different enemies are omitted. Like, in this case, the only beheaded enemies we're probably going to be seeing are the kamikazes, because the other ones are literally no threat. Except maybe for the bombers. I guess the bombers do sometimes do a bit of work, but they still have some extremely low health. And apart from that, we also have the cannons. Of course, I'm going to be sniping them from a distance, because the cannons are a major obstacle if you couldn't remember them from the previous levels. And thankfully, these ones are static ones, so they only fire at things that are straight in front of them. And I kind of expected them to have a bit more health than that. I'm not really sure if their health, like, changes from time to time. It could not. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. But we have another ammo pack right here, which we're probably going to be using. I might end up using a serious bomb, should the situation get a little bit out of hand. But for the time being, I'm going to be using the sniper rifle. Now, at some point during this level, it's very important to point out that there will be enemies spawning behind you eventually, depending on how far ahead of the level you run. And that gets extremely scary. Like, it throws a couple of major biomechs behind you, and yeah, I might possibly blunder up, so I don't want that to happen. But oh well. If it happens, and then I'll probably just quick load to the part where I actually get to where I'm supposed to be. So I'm gonna quick save right now, just to be safe. And let the biomechs come to me, because this is a pretty big area to retreat to. I think we have plenty of roaming space as is. And the sniper rifle is really good against these enemies, since they appear in sort of a steady fashion. Especially considering how fast they run. Like, the bulls, they run fairly fast, and the pumpkinheads, they run, I think, at a somewhat similar speed, but not sufficient enough so that way they match the bulls. And using the sniper rifle just makes things a lot more manageable as is. And yes, I am going to be checking behind me a couple times just to be safe, because I really, really do not want to get caught by surprise by the inevitable biomechs that are going to appear. I just remember them being there. I don't remember where they specifically spawn, or when, I guess I should say. But better safe than sorry, right? Right. Let's take care of you. This guy, I expected him to walk forward in his original destined path a little more, but such was not the case. But it's okay, because his brother was kind of on a predestined path and he didn't want to change it anytime soon. Ugh. Already I'm running out of things to say. That's a very, very bad sign, if you've known me for long enough, because if I'm not rambling about something rather pointlessly, then chances are my commentary is going to be extremely bland, blander than it already is, and I'll go into a bit of a panic, but it does give me some time to breathe. Oh god, that's a cannon. Where is the cannon? I forgot that there was a cannon in this area. Ooh, ooh. Where is he? Where is he? Eh. Right. A quick save right here. I do believe... I can't really remember if the secret is right here or if it's in a different... Oh, yeah. Secret teleport to Pumpkin Field has been discovered. We're gonna take that right now. Okay, this area is a little bit spooky. Because you got this sort of enclosed area, and you've also got these miniature pumpkin heads. And if you couldn't guess that was going to happen, yeah, it happens. It's a little bit terrifying. There's also a couple of cannons out here as well that are hiding behind the trees and the fog, and it's just not fun at all. But they're also static, so they only fire in one direction. So if you can sneak up on them, if you kind of know where their locations are going to be, it can be fairly easy taking them out. Even though I'm taking a bit of damage right here from the pumpkin heads, there's still plenty of pickups right here that will allow me to sustain my health. So I'm gonna do just that. I think the pumpkins also explode if you blow... No, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I thought they exploded if you picked them up, but I guess such is not the case. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Well, at least I can have a chainsaw battle with him. Because the chainsaw has not been in any Serious Sam game since Serious Sam 2 and Advance, if anyone else remembers that game. Advance was... it was okay. I played it on the Game Boy Advance. I got sort of far into the game. The getting used to the control in that game is a little bit odd, but it was still Serious Sam, and I think it's safe to say I had a fun time. I forgot to pick up that ammo pack back, didn't I? No, I picked it up. I was holding the sniper rifle out thinking, hey, where's the ammunition? I'm supposed to get ammunition for this thing, but I guess that doesn't happen. Ow! I forgot that you guys spawned. I forgot that there were a majority of pumpkin heads in this area, so I apologize for that. I'm gonna keep confusing them and tripping them up with my strafing skills, and using the chainsaw on them, so I might as well hold this out. Wink. Hello. How are you guys doing? And there's also another serious bomb right here. You know what? Okay, I didn't expect that, to be perfectly honest. That caught me off guard, but as you can see, if you get killed by one of the enemies and the music starts playing again for no real reason. Okay, so having respawned, we're gonna try and deal with that a little more carefully. And I'm free to waste minigun ammunition since that red backpack just gives you full ammo and basically everything apart from the sniper rifle. I just want to take out these cannons. That's really all I want to do, because the cannons are pretty rude, especially in those kind of situations. So, go look around and see what's what. Are there any more contestants? Any more contestants for seeing if they are durable enough for my minigun? There's this dude! I sincerely apologize for wasting your time. I really did not mean to get shot by that cannon. But again, it's been a while since I played this level, so you have to give me that benefit of the doubt that I'm not going to remember where everything is going to be. Okay. Let's just pick this up, and then there's the serious bomb. What I was going to say initially is that if you don't like the pumpkin heads, you can also just pick up all the items and then escape to this portal without killing everything. But if you want to get all the kills in the level, you could probably just do that if you really want to. There's the cannon. That's where that dude was. And I think that one might be a rotating one. Okay, those are rotating cannons. I forgot that this level has the static cannons in the Pumpkin Hill, but the rotating cannons are elsewhere. And the reason for that is because the rotating cannons were not moving due to the fact that I was not close enough to trigger them. That's basically what was going on right there. I could probably use the Tommy gun on these little guys right here, and then switch over to the minigun, because we're going to be getting a lot of ammunition for this gun eventually. And if I run out of ammunition for this, then it'll give me an excuse to use my explosive projectile, so there is that. Look. I'm still going to be looking out for those enemies that are inevitably going to be spawning behind me, so I do apologize for that. But it's kind of necessary. Shotgun. No big threat. Okay, I think we could safely move forward now. I'm gonna quick save. Now, there are a couple of demons out there in the distance. I'm gonna use the minigun on this dude, but I'm probably gonna use the cannon on the other dudes, just because the cannon, I think it deals a sufficient amount of damage, enough so that way it can kill them instantly, even if the cannonballs touch the ground. Unless they collide off a few objects like that one in this case, then you might have a couple troubles, and you might need to shoot at him again, just to make sure you kill the dude. And I think I'm gonna save that ammo backpack from later. Right now, I'm gonna focus on what's ahead of me. I think that might be a secret wall right there. I'm not entirely sure, though. I just do remember there being a secret enclosed behind one of these walls. And there are clear skeletons here. I forgot about that, but there's also a cannon shooting at me, and that's a little bit terrifying. Here we go. Here are the enemies that are going to spawn behind me! Okay, serious bomb time. I think it's necessary at this rate. And that was the usage of the serious bomb in a pretty hefty situation, I might add. But it works. It works. So that was basically the area where the enemies were going to spawn behind you. However, in turn, it does not kill all of the enemies that are meant to spawn here, and as such, you're going to be spending your time fighting more clear skeletons and more pumpkin heads. But maybe not more biomechs. I'm not entirely sure if they spawn once or twice behind you, but just to let you know, they spawn. You might want to consider using a serious bomb if it's just a little bit too dicey. I haven't used that word before, dicey. Does that even mean what it means? I don't know. I'm just playing off of Garrett because he uses the word, and therefore that gives me all excuses to use the word myself to make me sound intelligent. I think that's everything. I'm just gonna quickly go look behind me, just to be safe. Also, if you do walk backwards for a long enough time, Sam will say something along the lines of how he hates running backwards. That's kind of a good hint as to whether or not there's gonna be enemies behind you. Just thought I'd point that out. Also, those flags. Those flags are pretty cool looking, I have to admit. I've never really paid attention before, but I like the way those flags look. Hopefully that'll be a thumbnail. And if not, then it won't be, because I do not have rights to choose if I can have custom thumbnails, because I haven't bothered with monetizing my videos. I don't really know if I'm going to be doing that in the near future, but YouTube is just a hobby for me. I don't really want to force people to watch ads and, yeah, that sort of thing. It's not my motif, honestly. I just like to make videos, and if people want to watch them, they can watch them. I'm going to pick up this ammo now, because it gives me ammunition for the minigun, and we're probably going to be running forward for a while as well, and then running backward, and then running forward again to get more ammo. You basically repeat this the entire time while you're in this corridor. Eventually we'll get to a more open-ended area where there's a lot of different things to fight, but for the time being, we're just going to work with what we have. Now, running forward here, there are going to be a couple kamikazes spawning to the right of you off of this wall, so as a precaution, you know what this means. We're gonna start running backwards. Just to be safe, like, there's this guy that's going to spawn behind you. But apart from that, I don't think anything else will spawn. Just to be safe though, I'm gonna quickly go ahead and check while these kamikazes catch up to me. And yes, just as my assumptions were correct, there is indeed a single major biomech. There could be a second one, so I'm just gonna hang around back here while these kamikazes run towards me, and occasionally check my back. As you can see, there's also a green dude out there. We haven't seen a green dude in a while. But if you remember our experiences from the Persian area, then you might know that green dudes are really, really fun enemies who shoot homing projectiles from across the map, and chances are those will hit you no matter what. And he is being pretty bold, I'll give him that. Like, Never have I seen an enemy so determined, besides the kamikazes of course, to kill me that quickly, because they kinda walk pretty fast. I'll use rockets. I mean, why not? I don't really give the rocket launcher enough love. I don't exactly appreciate the rocket launcher as much as I do the grenade launcher, but that's just my opinion. Some people are bound to disagree with me, and I'm sure you have good reasons as to why that is, but I just prefer the grenades just because they're slightly more powerful than the rockets. As you can see, they kind of work better against the pumpkin heads. If you use a rocket on a pumpkin head, then you'll have to use a second one to kill him, but with the grenade launcher, you probably notice that it just requires one grenade to kill them. And I prefer that above all things. So, yeah, that's my opinion on the grenade launcher. I'm sure I've talked about it before, but I just thought I'd point that out about its statistics and how it's better at killing pumpkin heads than the rocket launcher as is. And we also have a health pickup right here that we don't really need. Why would you need that health pickup? Your health should be hopefully above the 100s throughout a majority of this level, because they're fairly generous with the power-ups they give you in this level. Now the final area, that's a bit more open for debate, and I do have a strategy for that area. It's not the most exciting strategy, I'm just gonna point that out. So if you don't like boring strategies, you'll probably end up wanting to skip that part of the level entirely until I reach the final boss. Now, if I recall correctly, there is a secret wall back here, and it does reveal, I believe, an ammunition backpack. Pretty certain it's somewhere around this area. There is this ammo backpack, but I want to run back and check and see. While those enemies are spawning, I'm just going to quickly double back and see if there's anything else back here that I need to take consideration of. I'm sorry if I'm wasting your time here. I just really want to know where the secrets are. I do remember there's one that's sort of somewhat secluded behind a wall that can be pretty difficult to notice on your first playthrough. I'm just taking precautions here, so it also gives me an excuse to run back so that way I can deal with these enemies with somewhat relative ease. As I said earlier, there's gonna be a lot of running backwards just to make sure you can deal with these enemies in a much more manageable fashion. And yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. But it gives us an excuse to use the minigun as well, and everything is happy. You could probably also use grenades or rockets in this area because the splash damage is viable enough to stun them, in which case, they're not going to be stunned for a brief moment as you've probably seen, but at the same time, if they can get caught in more explosion radiuses, then you'll have an easier time managing with them, especially with the grenade launcher. I can't say enough positive things about the grenade launcher if I have to be honest. I just love it way too much, which is probably not a good thing, but I have no bullets left. This was part of the plan. This was certainly part of the plan. So was using the laser gun. I'm just gonna keep running back real quick. There are clear skeletons spawning behind me. Right, time to use another Serious Bomb, I would say. I'm not sure how much reach this Serious Bomb has. It could go around the corridor where those biomechs were. It could not though, then again, so yeah, and Sam finally announces that he hates running backwards. I'm sorry, Sam, but this is for your own good. It gave me an excuse to use a Serious Bomb, and while those enemies catch up to me, I'm gonna check and see if there's more of these dudes right here, and as my assumptions were again correct, there is. And my throat is killing me right now. I feel the desperate urge to cough. However, I don't want to do that because that would mean I'd have to pause the recording. I could go get a drink, but I can't just brush my teeth. So, it's probably gonna taste disgusting. That's my excuse. And that excuse being given, I have to focus more on killing these dudes with my cannon. So, yeah. You might possibly hear me cough in this recording. It's not going to sound very grand. But oh well. Oh well. Now, I could probably use this time to assure you that, don't worry, this area does not last as long as I'm making it out to be. The truth of the matter is, while there is a lot of running backwards, we will be finishing this corridor eventually. I'm just gonna leave that at that. So, I'm gonna pause the recording in just a minute because I do in fact need to cough, and it is going to drive me insane if I do not. First of all, Gonna take care of these clear skeletons. I mean, you should admire my sacrifice. My throat is basically on edge right now. I could choke something up any minute, but I choose not to. I choose not to for the sake of your ears, so that way I can kill all of these clear skeletons with my fabulous grenade launcher aiming skills until the bulls show up, in which case I'm just gonna sort of whop them right in front of me, because that's what skill is with grenades. It just about any game. It's just dropping grenades in front of you like nothing else. And that is a good thing about the grenade launcher, is that if the enemies get too close, you can basically just form this wall of explosions by doing that. Just spamming them over and over again. It's a pretty viable tactic if you ask me, and how did I miss that? I don't know. Serious Sam, could you explain this to me, please? He doesn't have anything to say about it. Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording for a minute.